Hi guys, welcome to the afternoon session for 14th July and I will hand over to Ankit for his presentation. He will be presenting a textile company this time. So yeah, over to you Ankit.
Yeah. So the stock which I am presenting today, it's basically a commodity company. It is from a sector which is generally ignored by the Indian markets most of the time. Okay, and it's a company which is yet to be discovered by many people. It's very deeply undervalued, and there are not many shareholders in this company as well. So it's quite underground as well. Let's go forward. So I hope everyone of you know about the company called GSCL, Gujarat Heavy Chemicals Limited. So until 2 years ago, GSCL had two business verticals. One was the chemicals division in which they make soda ash. I think Amar Bhai yesterday was referring to soda ash. So GSCL is one of those companies who makes soda ash, and they had a textile division as well until 2 years ago. And within the textile sector, they had two departments majorly. One was the home textiles, and that home textiles division was sold to Indocount Industries in April 2022. They completely sold off that division, and later, 1 year later, in April 2023, they demerged the other part of the textile business, which is GSCL Textiles. And this business is basically cotton synthetic yarn manufacturing business. It got demerged in April of last year, and it got listed separately around the same time. So FY24 was the first year of this demerged entity. And what usually happens now in this demerger cases, the spin-off entity usually sees a lot of selling pressure because the market cap is significantly reduced, and many people don't want to own the spin-off entity, and that's why it's for the last 1 year it has had a lot of selling pressure. Moving on, here is a bit of history of the company. So GHCL first primarily acquired a company called Sri Meenakshi Mill in 2001. It had 65,000 spindles capacity. The current capacity of GSCL Textile is 2.25 lakhs spindles. So it was a loss-making company then, but from there on, in the last 22 years, they have done reasonably well, growing their revenues at 15% CAGR and their EBITDA by 31% CAGR. And their average median margins over the last 10 years, because the data they have given is only for the last 10 years in terms of margins. We don't have the data for the 22 years which they have been running the operations. So last 10 years, median margins is 16 to 17%. This is EBITDA margins, not the gross margins. 16 to 17% EBITDA margins. And their capacity utilization right from historically has been 90%, 99%. This is not just the current capacity utilization, but historically they have maintained this capacity utilization out of all their assets. And recently they have signed an MOU with Tamil Nadu government to make an investment of 1,000 crores, out of which half of that has already been done. And with this MOU, they will get some incentives from they will start getting some incentives from the Tamil Nadu government. Okay. So let's look at the financial positions and some of the valuations of this company. The company's market cap is 850 crores. The debt to equity is only 0.05. Until the quarter 3, they were literally debt free, but in quarter 4, they took some debt to expand some of their capacities. Their spindles capacity, which I told earlier, is currently 2.25 lakhs. They will expand it by 25,000 more, and this completion should be done somewhere in Q1 FY26, and it will add 250 crores more to the current revenues. They expected to generate some cash equivalents of 150 crores each in FY25 and FY26. So, and current cash equivalents and inventory position is also very good at 350 crores against a market cap of 850 crores. The biggest main point is the PB ratio, the book value is only 0.6, and this is the cheapest amongst all. There are about 30 spinning companies listed, and this is the cheapest among all the spinning companies. Market cap to sales is also 0.8, so it's trading at less than its sales. And price to cash flow is 15 times, which is quite cheap. PE is slightly inflated because we have all-time low margins. The historical margins of the company are, as we saw in the previous slide, 16 to 17%. But right now, for the last 2 years, the margins are only 7 to 8% because of downfall in the market. There is a quote by Benjamin Graham. It says the investment approach is one which, upon thorough analysis, promises safety of principle. And this is one of those companies which promises you a safety of a principle, because it's already trading at only 0.6 is book value. So even if the company gets liquidated today, you're getting more than you're getting more than what you're paying for. And now I will begin my investment thesis. So why I like this company and why I think it can provide a good investment opportunity. So you look at, this is the last 6 years data of this company. This is the revenue and EBITDA margins data from FY18 to FY24. My main focus is on the margin side, EBITDA margin side. You look at the margins; they are consistently 15-16%. In FY22, the margins were slightly higher because of the pent-up demand which was there from COVID restrictions and all that. And these margins was not sustainable. After that, what we had was cotton prices and the raw material is cotton, out of which they make the yarn. And because the cotton prices their margins started to drop down very significantly. But what we are seeing is right now the margins are steadily improving. We will see that in the next slide. You see here, these are the cotton prices. I have the data. This data is of the last 10 years. Okay, so from 2014 to right until COVID, the cotton prices were very much stable. But post COVID, what we saw was the cotton prices shot up two and a half times to what they were generally. And so what happened was the raw material became expensive and their spreads declined. The spreads between the cotton prices and the prices of the yarn which they are selling. So their spreads declined, and hence their margins dropped down to all-time low margins. If you see on quarter in Q1 FY24, they had 7% margins, and they have now increased to up to, in the latest Q4 quarter, their EBITDA margins were 10%. So we are seeing slight improvement in the margins, and hopefully it can go on. One more thing the company is doing is they are integrating into fabrics. They are not just making yarns now. They are forward integrating into fabrics, which should further help their margins, help to grow their margins. Fabric business, they have higher margins, and 4 to 5 years from now, they are targeting 25% of the revenues coming from fabrics. Right now, they outsource the fabric manufacturing work to a third party because they don't have an installed capacity of fabric making. They are planning it for FY26. In FY25, which is the current year, they are only planning to expand their spindle capacity. And in the next year, the next financial year, they will be setting up a fabric capacity of their own, so that they don't have to outsource this fabric manufacturing to someone else. So if you look at here, this is the table. If you look at until FY22, they didn't have any exposure to fabric business. But from FY23 onwards, they have started diversifying into fabrics as well. And they are growing, they are very keen to grow this line of business. The two types of fabrics, the knitted fabric is basically they make the garments out of it. And Greek fabric is the gray fabric, which is the raw fabric, which is provided to home textiles, mainly to home textile companies. And the home textile companies from that can make anything they want, curtains or bed sheets or anything like that. Okay. And value-added products, they have you can see this from FY18 their value-added product share was only 28%, but now it has steadily grown to 40, 45, 50%. Somewhere between that, it is steady. And what the management is saying is that over the next 2 years, they will have around 50 to 55% on a sustainable basis the share of value-added products. They have generally 2 to 3% higher margins in these value-added products. And how will they raise this share of value-added products? It is through export markets. Right now, most of the revenues are coming from India only, but they are growing their export market right now. We will see this in the next slide. You see here, FY21 they had export share of only 6%, export revenue share of only 6%, but FY24 they closed it with 15%. And in the next 1 or 2 years, they are targeting 20% of their revenues to come from exports. And what happens in exports is, in exports they mostly only sell the value-added products, the premium yarn, which is called the Australian yarn, the Puma yarn. There are 2 3 different types of yarns. In the export markets, they basically only sell the value-added products. So what will happen is, in the export market, if their exports revenues grow, their share of value-added products will also automatically increase, which will automatically increase their margins as well. Okay, so right now capacity expansion, their current capacity is 2.25 lakhs of spindles. Up until a year ago, this was only 1 lakh 85,000 spindles. But in November of FY24, they commissioned 40,000 more capacity. But capacity, they have not fully utilized this 40,000 spindle capacity. They will be utilizing this fully in the current FY25 year. So we will see the impact of its added revenue in FY25 only. And they have given the revenue target of 20 to 30% of revenue target increase for FY25. The current revenues are approximately 1,000 crores. And for next year, they are targeting 12 to 1,300, which is the 20 to 30% growth in revenues. They are also they are also in the process of expanding the green energy portfolio. Right now, right now, some 70% of their energy requirements are met through green energy. But after this phase of expansion, 85% of the energy requirements would be met through the green energy portfolio, which will lead to savings on the power costs as well. The further 25,000 of spindle capacities is what they have done is they have made the capex for that. And this is the reason, this 25,000 is the reason they took the debt. In the debt which you can see right now, 70, I think the debt is 72 crores. The debt is taken mainly for this 25,000 spindle capacity expansion. And it should get completed by Q1. The target they have given is Q1 FY26, but it can get delayed by 1 or 2 quarters. And this 25,000 spindle capacity would add to 250 crores of more revenue. So FY26, you can add 250 crores to this 1200, 300. So approximately 1,500 crores they should do by FY26. 1,500 crores of revenue. Look at this is some of the customer list. And most of these customers, they are long-standing relations. Means these customers are onboarded with them for more than 5 years, 10 years, like that. Indocount Industries, to which they sold their home textile division, is also one of the customers. Raymond is one of the customers. Shahi is an unlisted company, but a very big listed company. You can search about it. It's a very big company. It's one of their customers. Arvind is one of their customers. Page Industries is their customer. And there are and these are some of these customers are from the export markets as well. We will look out for some government initiatives in the textile sector. What the government, as I said in the very first slide, this sector has been ignored. And by ignored, I mean not just ignored by investors, but textile industry has generally been ignored by the governments as well. From the past, if you look at decades ago, not many really initiatives have been done in the textile sector. despite it being the second highest employment generator in terms of industry. But you will hear many news of some textile mills closing down. Government support has been limited, but last few years we are seeing that the government is really taking some initiatives to boost the textile sector. Maybe the changes have started happening from when Piyush Goyal ji became the textile minister, and maybe the changes started happening from there. The first step was the PLI scheme, the textile sector, which they introduced into 2020. In the PLI scheme, they have till now 61 applications have been approved for the textile sector. This has the proposed investment of around 20,000 crores. And this data was up until August 2023 only. So in the last 1 year, we might have seen more applications and more investments from the textile sector under the PLI scheme. There's also talks of installing PM Mitra mega textile parks. What these textile parks would do is they will facilitate textile companies R&D and all everything, logistics to R&D and all, warehousing and all at these textile parks at one location. So nearly they are talking about 70,000 crores. If this project has not got executed yet, the 7 mega textile parks which they are planning, one is in Tamil Nadu, where both of the plants of GSCL are located in Tamil Nadu only. So it should help GSCL if these mega textile parks uh, get executed. The most important point for me is why I'm interested in textile sector right now. I own two other companies in textile sector as well. This is the FTAs, which are the free trade agreements. If you look at countries like Pakistan and Bangladesh, they have the benefits of FTAs. FTAs, what it does is they don't have to pay the import the duty while exporting to countries like UK and the European Union and Australia and all that. But India has to pay that duty, and Indian government is working very diligently right now to sign FTAs with some of these nations. And recently, we have concluded the FTAs with Australia, UAE, Switzerland, and Norway. What it does is it saves an 8 to 10 extra percent cost. So what the reason why Pakistan and Bangladesh enjoy such a huge dominance in textile sector is because they have these FTAs with those countries, and they have an additional saving of 8 to 10%. How I came to know about this 8 to 10%, it's mentioned in the con calls of, there is a company called Gokaldas Exports, and in one of the con calls, one of the participants asked this question: say, what is the pricing difference between a country which has the FTA status and between one country which doesn't have this FTA status? So they told in that conference con call that there is approximately 8 to 10% of the duty, and this is a huge amount. 8 to 10% means it's a big deal. So once India gets these FTAs done, especially with the UK and the European Union, Indian exports from the textile sector should surge, because our main competitions right there is Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Vietnam. Obviously, we can't compete with China yet, but we can definitely compete with Pakistan, Bangladesh, because we can provide them with better efficiencies, we can provide them with more capacities and efficiencies compared to Pakistan and Bangladesh. Recently, in February, there was also came one good news to the textile sector, especially for the spinning companies, is that the import duty on long staple cotton was removed. So this import duty was around 11%. So what this import duty, when it was levied, what used to happen was, since the imported long staple cotton used to cost 11% duty, so the prices in the domestic market also, the long staple cotton manufacturer, they also used to sell it at a higher price. But since the removal of this duty, the prices of the long staple cotton has been substantially reduced, and what this is doing is this is helping all the yarn manufacturers basically. I will just go to this. So this chart was made by Puneet Bhai. Okay, I'm not good at making charts. So you can look at the charts here. The stock is mainly trading in a range. It's currently at a resistance 95 or 96 levels is the current resistance. And if you can see, it's trading in a upward band. So I can't tell you more about the technicals because I don't have that much technical knowledge, but you can check the charts. And if it crosses this range, this horizontal line, it would be trading at an all-time high range. And most of it would be dependent on the results, I think. If the results come good, then I think we should see it breaking its all-time high. So let's cover some of the risk related to this company and the sector in general. As we saw in the earlier slides, the company's earnings are mainly dependent on the cotton price and the spreads they earn on the yarn. Basically, what the rate of yarn is, the selling rate of yarn is, and what is their inventory, which is the cotton, which is the cotton. So, if the cotton prices see any significant increase due to Red Sea crisis or the Russia-Ukraine war or anything else gets escalated in the global economy, in the global scenario, we could, and if those cotton prices high, then the margins which we are talking about right now, which are down to 8%, and we are hoping that it can go to the median margins of 16-17%. If then that scenario might not play out. The other key thing is the textile sector, what generally doesn't get a higher valuation multiple, but because what happens is there's a lot of volatility in earnings. If you look at textile companies, there's a lot of margins volatility and a lot of because of this fluctuating prices of commodity, and that's why one of the reasons it doesn't get a high valuation. But maybe because of some government initiatives which we are seeing right now, the if we sign the FTAs and all, then the textile sector exports could really grow, and some of the textile stocks are really doing well. You look at Intercount Industries, Pearl Global, Gokaldas Exports, they have grown their revenues last 2 3 years. They have almost doubled their revenues, and for the next few years as well, they are talking about doubling their revenues as well. So already we are seeing some signs of improvement from what we used to see from the textile sector. And hopefully with these FTAs, whenever they get done with the UK and the European Union, we will see a good growth, and hopefully we might get a better valuation multiples for these companies. One of the peers of these companies is Ambika Cotton, and Ambika Cotton, what it is going through a tough, it is going through a tough time as well due to working capital and inventory raise. What I think Amar Bhai yesterday mentioned that US and Europe are currently seeing sort of a recession. So because of the demand slowdown from those markets, the working capital cycles and the inventory days are sort of stretched, and that's why ROC and ROEs are low. Not just for Ambika Cotton, GSCL Textile as well. The ROCs and ROE is quite low right now. So if we see a improvement in those markets, hopefully the working capital and inventory days, if they come down, then the ROE and ROC should improve as well. But this remains a key monitorable and depends on the export market. The demand, how does the demand scenario and inventory scenario improve in Europe and US? One major drawback of this company is that promoter holding is only at 19%. So what it does is the EPS doesn't go as faster. Even if the companies goes his income at 20, 30, 40%, the EPS doesn't go faster. What we can see with this company is, since if we see, let's say from the margins, let's say if the margins go from 8% to 16, 17%, and they achieve a 22 to 30% revenue growth, the PAT should go by 40 around 35-40%. But since they have too many outstanding shares, that's one problem. They have roughly 9.5 crores of outstanding shares, and compared to their peer Ambika Cotton, it's almost 3 times more outstanding shares for a company that's much smaller as well than Ambika Cotton. And as I said, there are some headwinds which are going on in the yeah, related to some textile industry in Europe and US especially. And if those headwinds continue for more longer, then we might not see the mean reversion of margins. So I will keep it short. I will won't take much time. This was mainly it. This is a very boring business, very commodity business. But my main investment thesis is on the main revision of margins, and the company, since it has signed an MOU with Tamil Nadu government, we can see a growth in revenues of 20 to 30%. And hopefully if the margins come back, then we can get a double push of the revenue growth as well as the margin growth. And so the P so the PAT can expand more than the revenue growth. So this is it from my side. I am actually very bullish on the textile sectors for a few companies from textile sector. And because of the FTAs, I think some other companies should get benefit of that as well. Companies like Indocount I have mentioned here, Indocount Industries. I hold these top two companies, and they have done reasonably well. Pearl Global especially is a very interesting company. I urge all of you to look into that company. What they had given guidance in 2021 of doubling the revenues by 2024, which they met the guidance, and in 2024 now they have given a guidance of again doubling their revenues. I could have covered Plevel Global as well, but recently the price shot up. The prices have shot up too much in Plevel Global and Indocount Industries. So I decided to cover GSCL Textiles, where we can still see a lot of value. By the way, these two are good companies as well, Pearl Global and Indocount Industries. One can study it, and they are doing really well. They are also growing their revenues at 25-30%. And as I said, this whole industry is quite ignored by the markets, and that's why we are seeing still deep value in these sectors. On a price to cash flow basis, most of these companies are trading at 10-15x only. So very much there is very much value in this sector, but picking the right stock is key, because textile sector, there are more than 400 listed companies. If you look at stock edge, and if you go to the textile sector, you will find more than 400 companies, and not all of them, only a select few, 10, 15, 20 will do well. Even if the government initiatives like the FTAs go, only 15 to 20 will do well. And the key is picking which ones will do well, because valuations are very good for all them, but picking the key stock is okay. So I'm ready for the questions, if anyone else has any questions. Hello.
Yeah, thank you, Ankit. It's a good
Yeah.
presentation. So I have one question on the PLI scheme. So PLI scheme for the textile has been into place for last 3 years already.
Yeah.
So still we don't see anything majorly coming up in the earnings part. Possibly because of so many headwinds as well.
Yeah.
So,
So
but
many
do, but do
headwinds.
you think, but do you think the PLI will be effective actually finally for this kind of companies?
I think it should be, and as I said, I gave the examples of 2-3 companies. If you look at, if I go here, if you look at this Pearl Global, okay. If you look at Pearl Global, just a minute. If you look at Pearl Global, if you look at the 2021 revenues, they had 15 crores of revenues, and they closed FY24 with 3,500 crores. And the same pattern you can see in other companies as well, Gokal Das, Indocount. They are growing their revenues at a good space. So as I said, if you look at the sector as a whole, this sector is way too big. Most of the companies are dead companies here. You have to pick the right companies, and if you pick the right companies, they will be benefited, I think.
Okay, okay.
Puneet, I can put because I'm from this textile segment.
Yes, yes.
I
Please
can
go
give
ahead.
I can put more in this, more light in this. You know what happens? These all Indian companies, Gokula Exports, or there was another company called Alok Industries, which acquired by Reliance.
Mhm.
You know, these people they have really not moved up in the value chain in the international markets as compared to China. China outnumber them, outprice them in almost all the segments in the international markets. This FTAs will help little bit, okay? But when I see the price difference of same apple to apple between China and India products, China is at least 40% cheaper than India. How Indian companies are going to compete in international markets like this? Whole South America, whole of US, Europe, they are buying 60 to 70% of textile market. They're buying from China. India and Bangladesh and all these countries, they're getting very, very small share of the total buying of these countries, only because of pricing issues. So that this is one of the major reason this textile segment. What if you're selling for domestic markets? Okay, I'm not commenting on that. Okay, but for export purpose, this is one of the major reason. Pricing is a major reason. Second is value addition. We are not able to. India is not unable to do much in that. This is one of the major roadblock for going further. This was my comment. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Vivek.
Yeah, question by any participants? Forum. No, as of now.
We can look at another company, Vardhaman Textiles. That is also very good in cotton yarns. Vardhaman.
Yeah, Vardhaman and Ambika, these are, but my main thesis with this company, GSCL is the mean revision of margins. If you look at 7 to 8, Vardhaman, which one you told?
Vardhaman Textiles.
Vardhaman Textiles.
Vardhaman acrylic with the Vardhaman Textile Limited.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to that.
Yeah, this is a yarn company as well. I had basically looked at Ambika Cotton as a peer-to-peer comparison, because in the con calls as well, the management had mentioned about Ambika Cotton, about having higher margins and good export and good share in the market.
And who's the owner of GHCL? Owners of GHCL?
This is a demerged company from GSCL Limited.
Or demerged company?
Yeah, it is a demerged. The promoters are the same. The management is different. That's all.
Promoters. It used to be, I think, Birla Group company, GHCL?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No, it's not a Birla Group company. If you look at the parent company, which is GSCL Limited.
Who are the owners of this?
I think this is the guy, the Anurag Dalmia.
Okay, Dalmia Group. Okay.
Yeah, Dalmia. And in the GSCL Textile as well, you can find this same list. Basically, this is a demerged company. Anurag Dalmia and this Nilab Dalmia. These two are the owners, I think.
Okay, understand. Yeah. No, I know this company since long, GHCL. I'm watching this. It's a soda ash company made primarily in home textiles.
Yeah, they have the home textile division was sold to Indocount 2 years ago.
Yeah, they sold.
And what happened was Indocount became the largest home textile player after that. And since then, Indocount has done really well. The stock has almost become 3x since taking the GHCL business from them. It's located in Vapi, the GHCL, the
No,
unit.
I've seen their factory. I've seen their plant.
And I think GSCL Textile also, if you look at the last 20 years data, they have done really well, growing their revenues. If you look at here, they have grown their revenues at 15% CAGR and EBITDA at 31% CAGR. So I'm just hoping that the margins revert back to 16-17%. And if we and they are keen on making growth initiatives as well, forward integrating into fabrics and expanding their spindle capacity. And since their capacity utilization is high, they shouldn't have a problem in selling their products with the high capacity as well.
Yes, textile segment is undergoing a very tough time these days. Markets are very bad. Domestic market is also not very buying. It's passing through a very bad phase, right?
Yeah, headwinds are there.
Good.
So what's your view on low promoter holding? Actually, you have highlighted as a risk already, but
Yeah, I have
do you
highlighted
think,
it.
but that will keep a hangover on the share price movement actually.
That is indeed one of the risks. I have mentioned it here. And for a small company of only 850 crores, so having 9.5 crores of outstanding shares is a little bit too much. And hopefully we can address this in the next phone call. We can ask this question: what are the plans to increase the promoter holding?
Yeah.
Because I can see their company can generate good cash flows in the next 2-3 years. So hopefully from that they do some buying and at least take the holding to at least 25%. That should instill some confidence.
Yeah. Fine. So guys, any other questions for Ankit? If no, then
Yeah.
fine. You can put more questions in the chat for Ankit if you think you have to put. So thanks Ankit once again.
Yeah.
We'll move to next presenter, Nilima.
Yeah, Puneet, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
So Ankit has to stop sharing.
Yeah, Ankit, you have to stop sharing it. Yeah, now you can take over. Yeah, we are able to see your screen.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Today I will be presenting Vodafone Idea. So why this can be a turnaround story? So if we see the past, the union of Idea Cellular and Vodafone had created the country's largest mobile operator with 35% stake and around 430 million subscribers. However, what was expected to be an upward trajectory soon lost momentum. Why? Because Reliance Jio had entered the market in 2016 with extremely low tariffs. And because of this, the other players like Idea, Vodafone, and other players started losing subscribers. And Vodafone Idea was left with just around 19% of subscribers. And due to this, there were huge losses at the company. So in December 2019, the Vodafone Idea chairman, Mr. Birla, warned that the company would need to shut down its operations in the absence of relief from the government, or he was also ready to sell his stake either to a public or private entity. The silver lining for the company came in September 2021. The Union Cabinet approved a major reform package for the telecom sector. As part of the reforms, the telcos were offered the option of choosing a moratorium of up to 4 years in the annual payment of dues arising out of Supreme Court's judgment on the annual gross revenue, as well as on the dues payment for the spectrum. Also, the government gave telcos a one-time opportunity to exercise the option of paying interest for 4 years on deferred spectrum installment and the AGR dues by way of conversion into equity of net present value of such interest amount. So this option proved good for Vodafone. Vodafone Idea opted for a four-year moratorium towards deferment of payment obligations, and they gave equity to the government towards the interest. So with this, government became a single largest shareholder in Vodafone Idea with a stake of about 23%. Now, this was a large part of government's plan to ensure that competition continued to exist within the telecom sector, which was increasingly trending towards a duopoly of Jio and Airtel. So our Finance Secretary TV Somanathan said that preserving competition with multiple operators in the market is a major policy goal of the government. That's why government infused capital in Vodafone and also in BSNL. So this was start of Vodafone 2.0. Now after the government took stake, their step was to raise funds. So they came up with a follow-on public offer, and this they completed successfully the 18,000 crore follow-on FPO. The Aditya Birla Group invested 2,000 crore in the FPO, and among the anchor investors were GQG Partners, Fidelity, and Motilal Oswal. They additionally raised 2075 crore via preferential allotment to a promoter Aditya Birla Group entity. So this, coupled with the preferential equity raise of approximately 49 billion in 22 from Vodafone Group and the ABG Group, it takes the total fund infusion by the promoter groups to approximately 770 billion between March 22 to May 2024. They are also looking to raise additional benefit from banks to the tune of 25,000 crore. Then they issued preferential equities of 1.6 billion share at 14.80 rupees to Nokia and Sweden's Ericsson for a total of 2,458 crore to settle the part of their pending dues. Also, ATC, the American Tower Corporation, converted OCDs amounting to rupees 14.4 billion into equity shares. And also after the sale of stake in Indus Towers, the Vodafone Group has invested 3,000 crore in Vodafone Idea. So they successfully raised funds. So after the fundraising and the FPO, the shareholding is as follows. Aditya Birla Group holds 14.7%. Vodafone Group holds 22.6%. The government has a stake of 23.2%, and other public shareholders are 39.5%. Why I see that Vodafone can make a comeback? So if we see, there is a growth potential in the Indian telecom sector. India is expected to become the third largest economy by 2028, and we have a large and growing population. Also, the rural teledensity is low and it's an untapped market. So there is scope in rural and the semi-urban areas for smartphones and usage of voice and data. Also, if we see in this chart, the ARPU, that is average revenue per user per month, India has a very low ARPU of 2.1 compared to other countries. So with the recent tariff hike, this ARPU will also increase. Another thing is that the digital revolution is in India offers substantial growth opportunities. So the government's push for India's digital revolution, where government sees that there should be digital infrastructure to every citizen. Then we need an open network for digital commerce, reforms in the digital payments. Then after COVID-19, the India's digital journey has accelerated, and data usage per subscriber increased 19 times since March 2017, post-COVID. So all this provides a nice growth opportunity because the smartphone usage is also increasing. So if we see, before the entry of Reliance Jio, there were 10 operators in India. And after Reliance Jio, because of its low tariff hikes, now there remain only 3 private operators plus 1 government operator. So Jio has the major share, then comes Bharti Airtel, then Vodafone Idea, and then we have a small share of BSNL plus MTN. So the market structure provides a good runway for market repair. So Vodafone Idea has a scope for growth. Now we come to what are the strengths of VI. VI has competitive and adequate spectrum. VI has highest 4G spectrum per million subscribers, which is expected to drive their near-term growth. And they have sufficient spectrum available to support migration of the entire 4G subscriber to 5G. Their existing network is built on 5G ready architecture. Now this slide is more of quite a technical slide. The gist of this slide is that their late adoption of 5G in leading in embracing latest advanced technology products and cost efficiency. So though they are behind in adaptation of 5G, but they have a network ready, which is for 5G ready architecture. Now, their first strategic initiative after the fundraise was focused investment approach. So the equity funding and the proposed bank facilities will be utilized primarily towards capex over 3 years, which is expected to be in the range of 500 to 550 billion, that is 50,000 crores. The capex will be towards expanding 4G population coverage in 17 priority circles, which contribute to 98% of the revenue. 5G launch in key cities and capacity expansion to address the increasing data demand. Then they will refarm the 3G spectrum towards 4G, and they have shut down 3G completely in 6 circles, with Kerala getting added to the list. The 5 other circles are Maharashtra, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Mumbai, and Kolkata. On the 5G front, they have completed minimum rollout obligation in 4 circles, Maharashtra, Delhi, Tamil Nadu, and Punjab, and they have applied for completion certificate in 2 circles of Bihar and Mumbai. So there is a capex of 50,000 crores over next 3 years. Now, on the market initiative fronts, they continue with their brand campaign, Be Someone's We. By Be Someone's We, they are making an emotional connect with the customer. They're trying to make an emotional connect with the customer. Then they continued the Choose Your Benefit on the VI Max Postpaid campaign with the addition of Swiggy One as one of the benefits. VI is the only operator in country to offer unlimited packs across a vast expanse of 29 countries that contribute to 70% of the international roaming traffic. Then they have expanded the pack portfolio to 27 new countries like Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, Iraq, etc. Now, to improve the ARPU, there are 2 major initiatives. One is they are focusing on expanding 4G in rural and the semi-urban area. And second is the tariff hike. All the telecom companies have increased their tariff, and Vodafone also did a tariff hike from 4th July 2024, and it is between 10% to 25%. And they have a scope here that they can upgrade many of the subscribers to 4G. So that will also improve the ARPU. Then their distribution is digitalized. They have digital tools for sales and distribution. They have tools like Empower, Smart Connect, and it is for the retailers and the distribution network. Then their customer acquisition also digital. They say they have free of cost doorstep delivery and digital KYC currently available in 100 plus cities for prepaid and postpaid customers. Customers can choose number of their choice, track orders, reschedule appointment, or modify their orders. And they have unique referral program for retailers. So these initiatives drive new customer acquisitions, support upsell, and better retention. Now, on the business service side, Vodafone is looking to move from a pure telco company to a tech company. So what they say is they have continued to make progress in line with their stated strategy of transformation from telco to a tech company. And their planned expansion of service beyond connectivity has seen good traction. So they have a provision of rich business messaging in India, exclusively available through VI Business for Android devices. And over 50 plus brands have adopted rich business messaging as a reliable and preferred marketing channel. Rich business messaging nowadays is replacing SMS because it contains images, videos, PDFs, GIFs, etc. And it can contain any media file or QR codes also. Another significant achievement they have is they have become the India's first telecom operator to achieve a SOCT Type 2 attestation. And this attestation signifies that they are maintaining the highest standards when it comes to data security and safeguarding sensitive customer information and their privacy. Now in IoT, Internet of Things also, they have end-to-end integrated IoT offering comprising of connectivity, hardware, network, application, analytics, security, and support. So they have various strong position in IoT automotive with vehicle tracking systems, energy, utility. They have a first of kind IoT lab as a service for device testing, standardization, and certification. And they are expanding their footprint in different use cases like battery monitoring, transport management, solar and water management, smart street lighting, etc. And they had introduced India's first eSIM. So since IoT market will expand, VIL is well positioned to gain competitive share here. Also, Vodafone Idea is a preferred provider for the cloud services. They provide different services in public, private, and edge cloud, and they are positioned as a preferred choice. Their position as a preferred choice creates significant opportunities for new revenue streams. Now, coming to creating a digital ecosystem, the Vodafone app now is not just a telecom management app like Reliance Jio or any other app. It's a go-to destination for movies, music, games, deals, and rewards. So what they have done is they have different sections in the VI app, and you can subscribe to that. They have movies and TV. Then they have a complete gaming arena where they have integrated esports platform, enabling gamers to participate in esports tournament on games like Free Fire, Clash of Titans, Pokemon Unite, Call of Duty, etc. And recently they have also announced a launch of Cloud Play. It's a gaming platform where you can play games without having to download and install them on the devices. Then they have an integrated utility bill functionality, which enables users to pay their different types of bills. They also have a shop section here, and they have a partnership with leading players across categories like entertainment, food, travel, and shopping. They also have a adtech platform, digital advertising, through which they can monetize through ads. So these different digital collaborations to drive brand differentiation, engagement, and monetization. So they have a huge monetization opportunity on the back of all these different offerings like the IoT, games, cloud solutions, and other business services. Now, industry recognitions in 2024, Vodafone has been lauded with 7 CIO Choice Awards for IoT, cloud, rich business messaging, telecom carrier, etc. And various awards are listed here, the IoT Initiative of the Year, etc. So the award-winning offerings show their focus. Now, if we come to see the technicals, I am concentrating only on two things. One is the ARPU and one is the subscriber base. Although the ARPU has been decreasing, but for the past few quarters, it is steadily increasing, and now it is 146 rupees. And the subscriber base, which has substantially decreased, but for the past few quarters, it shows a steady increase, and they are at 212 million subscribers right now. That is approximately 20 crores of subscribers. Although the debt is very high. Now, on front of the technical chart, as of now, the share price is at 16. But I think from quarter 3, based on the fundraising and the tariff hike, we should see more positive news from the quarter 3. I put this ratio stream from Sreenar, but right now I'm not looking much at it because we can see some good numbers from Q3. So why I'm looking at this company is the company has government support. Government is owning substantial stake now. The government policy, they do not want duopoly of Jio and Airtel. Then they had a successful fundraising round. The tariff hike is in place, which will improve the ARPU. Their key KPIs are showing improving trends. That is, the subscribers are steadily increasing. Then there's growth potential in the Indian telecom sector. And since they're moving from a telco to techo company, they can monetize through a digital ecosystem with their offerings from IoTs, cloud services, and other digital things. But still, there is a long way to go. They have lost a considerable subscriber base and they have tough competition from Jio and Airtel. On the debt side, the debt is huge. But the positive side is they have government on their side, and I hope that we see something good in the starting Q3 of this year. Yeah, so that's it from my side. Any questions?
Thank you, Nilima ji. So I think most of the guys would be thinking why the idea is here basically in this ALD. So I think the similar thought process many of you had when we entered Suzlon 1 or 2 years back. So that time also I had a lot of concerns from the people why we are entering Suzlon. And now I think in the similar way, idea is at a cusp of turnaround. Again, whether it will happen or not, only time can tell us. But I have shared across the idea thought process in alpha learners also 3 to 4 months back, maybe 5 months back possibly.
Yeah.
So it is at the cusp of turnaround, and that's what we try to capture the cases here for all of you to look back and remove the past bias out of it. So Suzlon and Vodafone Idea are the companies which were into the negative book value initially, few years back. And the times are changing. We should remove the past bias and we should look from a fresh eyes. So that's why idea is here, and from that angle you should start thinking. And if you have any questions, please ask. One question from my side to you, Nilima ji, is you have to pull up the statistics of the customers lost over the past years. Is that graph is stabilizing? Basically, they are not reducing the customers or they are not losing the customers much more. And then it should form a base, create a kind of a stage 1 base and stage 2 breakout. So that should come from the number of customers. Only then the revenue will increase in a significant way.
No, right now they are losing customers actually.
Yeah, that's fine. But that's fine. What I'm saying is the percentage loss every month should reduce basically.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We'll try to capture that from somewhere. I will also search for that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, guys. So you can
ask I have one question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Nilima ji, it's a very good presentation. So one question is about you mentioned different revenue streams. So is there a split of revenue across different streams other than telco?
Right now, I did not find that. I was also trying to find the split of revenue, but I think we can see something from Q3. They have just mentioned that they have associated with 50 brands for the rich business messaging, and they have the IoT part and the cloud services. But the split of revenue, I could not find. I'll try to find that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nilima Rashmi here.
Yeah. Hi.
Very good presentation, Nilima. Awesome.
Thank you.
I have applied the IPO and I was allotted. The only thing is like, I just want to know why is government so rooted for VI?
Why is government?
I mean, so rooted for VI. It's always favored by the government, right?
Okay, so maybe to help here, my thought process is, I think the government doesn't want duopoly. So it was taken away by Airtel and Jio.
Right.
And it is very bad for any market, not even India. Any market, if only there are two players, it is very bad for the customers because then nothing will be in the country. Second thought process which I had, and we need to see whether it will eventually conceptualize and materialize further, is possibly government is looking to take BSNL over VI, this Vodafone Idea, and they would be merged possibly because BSNL is getting revived, and in the Vodafone Idea, government has a major share, and possibly they could be merged together in the coming time. That's my thought process. But Nilimaji, you can put further thoughts apart from this.
No, right now we are not clear why government supported it. I'm not clear on that, but government has definitely benefited with the stake they bought in VI.
Yeah, Veena here.
Yeah.
I second Puneet's thought. I was just about to answer that. I think exactly the reason that duopoly is not a good thing in such a important industry, you may say. But if you think about it, entire learning, etc., is going to be on the net, future learning, etc. And government will definitely want. They are one of the things should be government owned. Not everything can be private in such a important sector. Like in defense, everything cannot be private. I think that is the thought process.
I just want to add my thoughts here. Since I've been looking for AI since long, I learned that 5G technology, what VI has, that India don't have. That's the reason government is backing VI. But apart from that, the same government could have analyzing your inputs, Veena. The same government could have saved BSNL, right? So it's just my curiosity, like why the government is voting for the outside company, whereas it's not saving its own.
It is, I think, if Puneet might be knowing more, but BSNL, now they're saving BSNL.
I don't see it happening, but yeah.
No, government has infused capital in BSNL also. So maybe BSNL and VI, maybe in future there might be some time. Right now, I don't have this.
But as far as the stock is concerned, I have been allotted this IPO and it's already 45% up. So I'm just holding it with curiosity.
Yeah, same here.
The other aspect was the loan part of it. Like government has not infused any money into it. It has just got the equity out of the spectrum money that they were supposed to get, which otherwise would not have realized it.
The equity is only for the interest part of the moratorium. The actual amount, it is deferred. So the deferred payment obligation to government was at 2034 billion, and the deferred payment now they have to pay in FY 2042 and in 2031. So the equity is just for the interest part. They still have to do the payment, but that is in 2031 and 2042. So they still have 7 years to approximately 10 years maybe.
Thank you, Neil.
Yeah, so one more hand has been raised by person NS. You can go ahead and ask the question. Whosoever it is, I don't know the full name. Okay, other thought process I would say for Vodafone Idea is there are two aspects of the company when company was going through the doldrums. So first question that we should answer is, will company survive? I think Vodafone has survived last 3-4 brutal years. Now can company thrive? That is the start of this journey, and we'll come to know with time whether it will thrive or not. But if everything was all right, you wouldn't get Vodafone Idea at 16 rupees right now. So that's the risk reward available to you. I'm not saying go ahead and buy it. I think definitely the time has come to review the risk reward in Vodafone Idea.
Yeah.
And in the chat, I'm saying, okay, people are really, really pissed off with Vodafone. Yes, I was also the one 2 years back, 3 years back. Many people have asked me Vodafone Idea, and I have said stay away. But I think the times have changed. So let's see whether it will work out or not for us. Okay, any more questions? Otherwise, we'll switch over to the next presenter. No? Okay, thanks, Nilimaji, for taking up this opportunity as well. I'm really pushing some of the people to take up the opportunity, and I think it's good you put your hand up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Puneet.
Okay, then we will go to the next presenter, Ganesh.
Hi, Puneet, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Just sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, all. This is Ganesh Prabhu. And then I'm associated with Puneet for last 2 to 3 years on this specific forum. Otherwise, myself and Puneet are colleagues from our 5 to 7 year old company from NXP. So that's how our relationship are. And this is my third ALD session. My first ALD session I presented Keynes Technologies, and in my second one I presented with IREDA. I think both are actually went to a good levels now. Thanks for Puneet on the guidance and dedication, which actually helped me to get to these levels. For a change this time, I didn't pick any stock, but I prefer to take the Ministry of IT, Electronics and Information Technology, and what they are doing, how they are helping the growth in the country, and where we are seeing in a short while of around 4 to 5 years, and what are the things they are enabling for the other industries to address the space in India. This is also a first time I'm doing with the policy-based presentation. Let me know if there is something which I need to refine or which I need to clarify or which I need to learn more. I think there are many experienced people like Pankaj and then both the brothers and then and all the people who are long time associated to it. Okay, I'm starting here. Okay. What is the first one is what is the mission and vision of MeitY? So the vision is to do e-development of India is the engine for transition to a developed nation and empowering the society. And what the mission is to promote e-governance for the empowering the citizens. So it can be either through sustainable growth of electronics or IT and IT-enabled services and industries, enhancing India's role in the internet governance, adopting a prolonged approach that improves development of human resources, promoting R&D and innovation, and enhancing efficiency through digital services, ensuring a secure cyberspace. This is the vision and the mission of the MeitY. And what are the objectives? First is e-government, providing e-infrastructure for delivery of e-services, and then e-industry, promotion of electronics hardware manufacturing and IT-enabled services industry, and then e-innovation and R&D, implementation of R&D network in the country and meeting to the global standards, e-learning, also supporting for skill development and knowledge-based enhancement of the country's population, e-security, securing India's cyberspace, and then internet governance, enhancing India's role in the global platform of internet governance. These are the few objectives which MeitY is targeting. And then what are the different functions they do? They do the policy-related matters related to IT, electronics, and internet, and then promotion of internet, IT, and IT-enabled services, and then promotion of digital transactions, including digital payments, and assistance to the departments in the promotion of e-governance, e-commerce, e-medicine, e-infrastructure, anything related to network, internet, and any internet-enabled services. Promotion of IT education and IT-based educations, and then matter related to cyber laws, matter relating to online gaming, matter related to promotion and manufacturing of semiconductor devices in the country, and IT-related matters with international agencies, bridging the digital divide, standardization, testing, and quality in ITs, and IT application and tasks, electronic export and computer software promotion, and the National Informatics Center, and then development of hardware and software industry, including the skill development, and then all matters related to personal, the control of ministry, UID, I mean the Unique Identification Authority of India, and Semiconductor Laboratory Mohali. These are the main functions MeitY is concentrating into, and this is how the organization's chart looks like. So we have the minister, and then the current minister of MeitY is Ashwini Vaishnaw. So he's also the Honorable Minister of Railways, Information and Broadcasting, and Electronics and Information Technology. And then there's the Ministry of State, Sri Jitin Prasada, and Secretary also Sandeep Mahatma. And these are the different functions or different heads which comes under ministry. So there are multiple functional groups we'll see soon, and then other attached offices with respect to Ministry of IT. And then what all the different autonomous societies. There are many central research organizations within India, and these are also connected with the Ministry of IT. And what all the different companies or sections which actually comes under Ministry of IT, and what are the different other statutory organizations, and some kind of government company acts, and how it is being catering to the complete Ministry of IT. And what are different functional groups. So we are mainly seeing about the PLI, and then we actually see about the electronic system design, semiconductors. But apart from that, there are multiple other divisions. There are multiple functional groups which MeitY is running through. So one is the electronic system design and manufacturing, which will be seen very soon. And then we will see the software industry promotion and digital governance, cyber laws, R&D, cyber security, infrastructure and governance, cyber security groups, HRD, R&D, then international cooperation, parliament matters, trade and investment, then human-centered computing, AI and emerging technologies, digital economy, and any kind of innovations, and center of excellence projects. So these are different functional groups, and each and every functional group has their own team head, and he is actually managing the complete portfolio. And we'll be seeing only one of the section of this functional group, what is the electronic system design and manufacturing, and where we are heading to in the near future. I don't know if there is something disturbing in the screen, or it's all fine.
Let me check actually. Something is disturbing. Other people are mute only. I think it's echoing back from your headphone if you are using headphone possibly.
Okay, I'm using a wireless headphone. I don't know if there's echo.
Yes, Sujay, you have a question in between. We can take up right now.
Oh, sorry for that. That was by mistake.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. And then why India's electronics manufacturing services sector is growing. So this has been analyzed and created by Ernst & Young. What is the summary of it is, India's electronics manufacturing services industry is growing, driven by higher share of outsourcing in India by OEMs and developing component ecosystem and government incentives. This is one of the prime reasons. And then India is also looking from a shift from just doing contract-based manufacturing to original design manufacturing, so that we can manufacture and do an export based. And then meanwhile, we actually have a complete control over the manufacturing also.
Ganesh, can you, if you can remove the headphone and try it without headphone? Yes, speak once. I'm not. Okay. Speak once actually. We will come to know. Incorrect. No, we cannot hear you now. So by the time he joins, our next session would be next Saturday. Okay, next Saturday, same time, almost 10 o'clock in the morning and up to 3:30 p.m. So I kept on sharing this YouTube where I am uploading the videos as well as the presentations for the day. Please go back and check. I think you will definitely get some ideas, some learnings out of it. Please keep the videos up to you. It need not to be shared outside. We will have some gap while sharing with the outside audience. Yeah, Ganesh, you have joined back. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Now we can hear. It's very clear now.
Okay, can you hear me now, right?
Yeah, it is much clearer actually. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know how much I wasn't clear about. Okay, I'll just restart from this slide now. So, okay, the Ministry of IT actually controls multiple functional groups also. So what are all the different functional groups? One of them is electronic system design and manufacturing. We'll be seeing something in more detail. Next is software industry promotion, digital governance, cyber law, R&D in cybersecurity, so infrastructure and governance, cybersecurity groups, HRDs, R&D in anything related to information technology, internet, networking, all these parts, and then international cooperations, parliament matters, trade and investment, human-centered computing, AI and emerging technologies, digital economy, and then the innovations and center of excellence projects. So each and everything is a huge specific segment. And if we go inside each and every part inside the Ministry of IT's website, it actually goes into a different ocean. So we'll not be looking into all of the functions. We'll just look into the electronic system design and manufacturing. And then next one is why India's electronics manufacturing service sector is growing. This is analysis being done by Ernst & Young, and then they presented in the above link, whatever it mentioned. So one is we are actually having a huge share of outsourcing by OEMs, and then we are actually doing the development of component-based, developing component ecosystem also, and based on the government incentives. And we are also shifting from the vanilla-based contract manufacturing to original design manufacturing also. And although we actually have a highest revenues or highest margins on the mobile space, and now we are actually getting into automotive, industrial, and medical as well. And domestic production has doubled between financial year 2017 and 2022. And it is actually expected to further increase at a CAGR of 24% between 22 and 27. And the PLI scheme provides 4 to 6% of incentives. And then Industry 4.0 is contributing to the growing demand of electronics of industries and digital technologies in the space of artificial intelligence, automation, data analytics to optimize the process, improve efficiency, and also the productivity enhancements. And we actually have a focus on sustainability in automotive sector, which is also transforming due to EVs and the battery management system. And then over the next 5 years, the EMS market in India is to reach $80 billion, providing growth opportunities to strategic and financial investors. And a large chunk of growth is being seen in mobiles and consumer electronics and appliances, followed by lighting, auto, and others. In addition to the increasing domestic demand, many electronic manufacturers are moving their outsourced manufacturing operations from geographies such as China to India due to the China +1 policy. And then the position in India as a global hub for EMS, the Indian government also approved a modification program for semiconductors and display fab ecosystem, which will be outflowing in US $10 billion from the government. And several incentives is also there to develop the semiconductor and ecosystem in India. So the EMS players are also now shifting their focus in value chain from traditional box building to design and PCB assemblies. And then this is an outlook where we see in the next till 2027. So there was a CAGR of 22% from 2017 to 2022, and we are actually seeing an expected CAGR growth in the EMS market of around 33% by 2027. Similarly for PCB, so it is something around 19 to 33% because of the ODM and the government subsidies in such sectors. And, so what is this ESDM and what is the government's take on that? So this is the main preamble from the government. So Government of India approach attaches high priority to electronics hardware manufacturing. It is one of the important pillars of both Make in India and Digital India programs. Focus on electronics hardware manufacturing up to IC design or chip level due to growing security concerns. They want to have everything within the country. And the national policy on electronics, which has been laid on 2019, was prepared to encourage and drive to develop the core components, including chipsets, and creating an enabling environment for industry to compete globally. And schemes such as modified special incentive package was provided for the financial incentives across the ESDM value chain to compensate for the cost disability in the manufacturing, because it actually involves a huge capital investment. And the modified special incentive plan was launched in 2012, so which actually provides the capital subsidy of 28% of electronics industry located in the non-SEZ area and 20% of those in the special economic zones. And what is the vision? So the vision is, so each and every specific group actually has their own vision and mission on how they want to take it further ahead. Similarly, the ESDM is also actually has their own vision and mission, apart from the MeitY's vision and mission. So they want to position India as a global hub for electronic system design and manufacturing by encouraging and driving capabilities in the country for developing core components, including chipsets, and creating an enabling environment for the industry to compete globally. And what is the mission? Promote domestic manufacturing, strengthen India's linkages with global trade, develop capacities for manufacture in all the subsectors of electronics, including semiconductors and the display. And then build a risk management ecosystem to promote and create a framework for a competitive startup ecosystem. Promote ease of manufacturing by introducing new and innovative fiscal incentives, augment the existing funds for the ESDM, and ensure effective measures to protection of the domestic ESDM industry from dumping of electronic goods. So they also keep ensuring on that. And then promote R&D to develop electronic products, including design and creation of IPs, as well as for the domestic and the global markets. And then incentivize and facilitate establishment of global bases for manufacturing of components and sub-assembly. The strategy: to create ecosystem for global competitive ESDM sector, develop and mandating standards, ease of doing business, industry-led R&D and innovation, human resources, export promotion, electronics value chain, cybersecurity, promotion of electronic components manufacturing systems, mega projects, preferential market access, developing core competencies in the subsectors of electronics, promotion of medical electronic devices industry, promotion of automotive electronics, promotion of strategic electronics industry, promotion of electronics manufacturing services. And they also work with the state government to encourage and support the states to play an active role in the promotion of electronics manufacturing by providing conducive environments to promote investments. And what the governance structure is doing, creating an institutional mechanism of implementing of various schemes or programs under the policy to review the implementation status and provide strategic recommendations or decisions from the community. And they are also open to amend the policy based on the feedbacks from the stakeholders and change the policy as and when required based on the market dynamics. So being so much of demand and the future importance, so we actually already have a talent crunch in the semiconductor space or in the ESDM space. So what is the central government is doing for that? Okay. So in 2024, they started a new Digital India internship program, internship scheme. So what is the purpose? The internship is an opportunity for a student to secure first-hand and practical work experience under the guidance of a qualified and experienced supervisor or mentor. It also aims to active participation in the learning process through experimentations and putting into practice the knowledge afforded in the classrooms. So they have an eligibility criteria also, either BE, BTech for the engineering purpose, MS and MSIT for electronics, and the MCA for any country-related, LLBs on the law and the laws and the international laws for the SDM, and then BE in BTech, BE finance. So these are the main criteria, and what all the different areas they cover the internship program. So they provide a 24-month total internship, and they have a specific application process, selection process, code of conduct, placement. And they each and everyone who undergoes such internship does a report on a paper, and they also given a token stipend of 10,000 per month. And they provide the certificate internship from the ministry, so which will help to build a stronger technical expertise in the country in the upcoming industries. And then this is the MeitY dashboard. So this is the MeitY dashboard. So we actually have the electronic manufacturing cluster and then the electronic manufacturing, the MSIPs and the IoT. So which are the three things we just see as an example. Apart from that, they have the other specific functions and their specific data in each and every section. Say, for example, if we go for electronic manufacturing cluster, so we have the complete data. And now they have the so this actually gives the details of the electronic manufacturing cluster. So how much of land has been allotted, and then what are the total investment committed, and then total GA released, and the total number of land allotted for that, and then the total number of operational units being executed till for the last for last 3-4 years. Similarly, they have the data right from 2016-17 for each and every specific sector. This is for manufacturing ships. So here we actually see what are all the number of approved applications, approved investments, and then number of investments by applications, and how it has been generating the employments in this each and every specific sector or with respect to electronic manufacturing alone. So this is the ones based upon all the PLI schemes, and then how much is the investment happening and how much is the approvals happening. And I'll just give a brief introduction on the PLI scheme. So what PLI scheme means is, so the government will be actually giving an incentive of 4 to 6% production linked incentive for a period of 5 years. And then targets, okay, this is only with respect to the ESDM section, ESDM sector. So what are the target statement? It's mobile phones or specific electronic components. And the period is 5 years. And the base year is 2019-2020. Okay, so what it means is, that each and every specific sector, either it's a mobile phones or a specific electronic components, actually has a specific rules to be followed. So they should actually be ready to invest, and then they should show a percentage of growth every year on year for next 5 years. And based upon their growth, they will be given a 4 to 6% of incentive on their performance. And already took the PLI scheme. So this is for large scale electronics manufacturing. We have so many list of companies which has been given the PLI approvals, and Optimus Electronics is one of our focus area, which we already been discussed by Puneet earlier. And they already had a second round also. In second round, these are all the being list of companies which have been provided the facility. And Shivalik Bimetal is one other company where it is also a part of our watch list. And the IT hardware space, there is Dixon Technologies, Optimize, Network Technologies, which are all actually are known companies or known things which we actually keep following. And they're also selected applicants in the PLI for white goods. So here PLI, even though they specify some IDUs and ODUs or any other specific products they are planning to manufacture, they are being provided the PLI scheme or the facility to take up the investment or get some funding from the government. So Keynes is one more industry which we are already in our radar. So they are also given the provision for the PLI. And next one was the PG Technoplast. So they are actually got the PLI approved for the AC manufacturing industry in India. And apart from the existing PLI scheme, now there is a new discussion is actually happening for the new electronic components PLI scheme. It is being discussed. Okay, India is reportedly planning a new production linked incentive. So targeting a value addition of 35 to 40% to replace the expired PLI scheme. So this is spearheaded by Electronics and IT Ministry. It could figure in the newly formed NDA government's 100-day agenda. This would imply a doubling of the current value addition level from 18 to 20%, achieved through various ongoing electronics manufacturing incentive schemes. So China took, this is one of the reference. China took 25 years for a 49% value addition. Vietnam took 15 years for 18% value addition. And India took only 3 years for an 80 to 20% value addition under the PLI scheme. National Okay, under 2019 National Policy on Electronics, India aims to earn $300 billion in revenue from electronics manufacturing by 2025-26. Currently, revenue figures are in realm of above $100 billion, but we are yet to meet the target of $300 billion. So, MeitY is consulting in the Indian government, NITI Aayog, and the Ministry of Finance for financing aspects of the new PLI scheme in the later part of this year. Why a scheme is necessary? India's electronics manufacturing industry is expected to see annual growth of 41% until 25-26. And then Indian electronics manufacturing market is going to reach $5,980 billion, around roughly US billion, 7.21.6. To give an example, in just April, May, US tech giant Apple's iPhone exports from India reached a value of US $2 billion. Apple's key vendors in India are committed to hitting a production value of around US $10 billion on the smartphone PLI scheme, inclusive exports in financial 24-25. So 25% of the target has already been hit in 2 months ago. So it has been done by Foxconn, Wistron, and Pegatron. So now they are already have used the 4 year of the PLI scheme, and they have only 1 more year, and then we continue the demand and continue the growth. They need to actually revise the PLI scheme for the further period of time. The agenda means the proposed PLI is just one more than the 30 items which is being lifted by the MeitY. And high priorities for the ministry include semiconductor manufacturing and process application in its domain. The outgoing Indian government has already approved the establishment of chip making facilities for the Tata Group and Micron. And fresh injection of funds is being needed to implement the next phase of Indian semiconductor industry. And how will it work? The proposed PLI scheme will ensure long-term value addition, making India a competitive destination for electronics manufacturing components rather than relying on the costly imports which affect the tariffs and the factors. Additionally, it would increase the share of production revenues earned by India and reduce the country's exposure to high state dependencies. So far, the Ministry of IT has reported the preliminary identification of electronic component target in the new list of companies, and it will be done by end of this year itself. And which specific segment are we looking into? So the ESDM market, as per the projection from 2022-23, this is for different specific industries: electronic design and engineering, electronic assembly, manufacturing, and others. So there is a roughly CAGR of around 7 to 8% between 2022-23. And India is already set to be a large ESDM market, and we'll be seeing by 2028, we'll be seeing of 34%. So the ESDM markets. So what is the advantage? So the Indian electronics market, electronics production, the ESDM market, and the India's demand. So this will be catering to this region of 34%. And finally, this tells about the strong tailwinds. So where we are looking into. So this is the mainly tells about the electronics test and assembly, which is OSAT and ATMP, which is actually looking a CAGR of 20% between 2020 to 2028. So I just want to do some more detailed analysis on the companies which will be looking into it and who will be getting benefited out of this BLI scheme. I need to do that analysis. I just have a small, this is just a basic introduction of Ministry of IT and what they are doing and what they are looking into in the area. That's all I had. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. So basically, in the this electronic manufacturing sector, which are the specific companies that you can think of that we should be looking? One is like, for example, Keynes. You have highlighted something from the PLI scheme. So anything specific which triggers, or they have a big tailwind basically. So any specific company in your mind out of these?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you only. Any specific company that you want to think of?
Yeah, Keynes is there, and then SGS is there. Tata Technologies. These are the main three companies which I'm keeping a watch on. And then I think by year end, once the second, the new PLI scheme has been approved, there might be many more new players coming to take up this opportunity. So that will be actually giving a good, good watch list also for us.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, any questions for Ganesh from the audience? Please ask. Yes, Sandeep, we'll write the companies on the chat, possibly in the group itself, whatever being discussed here.
Yeah, because audio was still not that good. That's the reason I asked.
Okay. Sorry for that. Okay, there's no questions. Thanks for that.
Yeah, it's a good overview of the ESG industry. So basically, this is what 2 years back also we tried to figure out when our group was on Slack. I thought this was the industry which will take it over. And still, I feel it's in a very nascent stage. Many semiconductor companies yet to come on the stage and perform, basically. I think Keynes is taking a lead, but Keynes is highly overvalued at this point of time. So Tata Tech is another one. OSAT companies are the one which are mushrooming now. At least 5 to 6 companies are coming up on that. So we'll track on that, I think. Yeah, it gives a good overview. Thank you.
Thanks.
So guys, any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, this is the last presentation of the day. And thanks to all the presenters once again for putting their efforts and putting their hands up to present here. It's not a mean effort. It's a big effort, basically. So hats off to all the presenters. So we'll re-meet again on Saturday, next Saturday, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, then I think we are much ahead of the time here, 30 minutes ahead. I think good for us. Yeah, we can close for the day. I will stop the recording.